Hello, my name is Lila, and I was diagnosed with low-grade glioma when I was 15 months old. From the early days of my treatment, I remember having to go to the hospital every week and getting the treatments through the tube when I had to do that. But other treatments that I've had were pills, and I remember that I had to schedule my eating around the pills because I couldn't eat 2 hours before and 1 hour after. Some of my hobbies are I like to play tennis, I like to bake, and I like to sing. And then what I want to be when I grow up as a teacher, they inspire me, and I really want to be one of them and help kids learn. The worst parts of having brain cancer were having to get a port every week and having to miss school to go to my doctor's appointments and to my MRIs.
What do you hate about missing school?
I love school so much, so I hate about missing learning things and missing my friends. Because I was diagnosed when I was so young, I don't even remember not having brain cancer. It's been my whole life having to go to all these doctor's appointments and having to go through so many things. Some pills I have to take have had really bad side effects, like having ingrown toenails and having to go to the toenail doctor to get shots. I was very upset when I had to do that. It was a very sad part of all my treatments. Another side effect from my treatment is like very bad dry skin, and I had to get all these creams and all these medications to make it get better. And I had to go to the dermatologist all the time.
I'm Braden Drew. I'm Lila's brother. I am 16 years old and I'm a junior in high school. I'd say the hardest thing has kind of just been, having to see everybody so worried all the time, and obviously having to see her go through all that treatment. It's been extremely impactful to me throughout my life because it's kind of inspired me to see how brave she has been through all the treatment and all that. It's super inspiring. And while it was really hard to see how worried my parents were and how sad it was to see her have to go through all that, it's always impactful and inspiring to see how brave and happy and hopeful she was through all of it. And I think that it's really powerful to see. If you ever think for a second the negative thoughts, you're going to become obsessed with that, and you're going to just become consumed with the anxiety of is my sibling going to be okay and all that. But if you stay hopeful and you spend time with them as much as you can, you start to feel better about the entire situation and not as much consumed with all the doubt and uncertainty. Lila's my hero. She's always so brave, and her perseverance inspires me to do the same because it helps put things in perspective. When I'm going through something, helps me to see, if she can go through all this, I can deal with, the heavy workload or something like that too. Like there's nothing that I can't handle because I've seen all that she can handle, and it's just, she's my hero because of that.
I'm Nicole Giroux. I am Lila's mom, and Lila was diagnosed when she was 15 months old with pediatric low-grade glioma, multifocal, and she's today 14 years old. And the last 13 years that since she's been diagnosed, she's been on a ton of treatments. Her tumor is inoperable and multifocal, and so she's been through it all. Where we started 13 years ago was with very toxic intravenous treatment that knocked her out. She lost her hair, the whole shebang. There weren't a lot of options 13 years ago for her case. As many of these are, they're not straightforward, and so we went pretty aggressive from the get-go. And a lot of those treatments that she was on the first 2 to 4 years, we are now seeing the long-term, late-term side effects that are coming from those. When you don't have a choice, when your child's diagnosed with brain cancer and you sign on the dotted line, You're not so worried about the late-term side effects, and you just want to save your child's life. And I wouldn't do it differently, but it is eye-opening, as we sit here today 13 years later, to see, wow, all those medicines, all those treatments, all those chemotherapies really ravaged her body. And so we're hopeful that some of the treatments she's been on more recently have been less toxic, less invasive, and certainly just easier to manage at home. And we're so blessed that the treatments have worked for Lila, and she's today, here with us and doing well. But I see the struggles behind the scenes, and there are many, and she's private, so I won't get into too many of them, but there's a lot that she goes through today as a 14-year-old because of the treatment she's been on, because of her cancer. I think a lot of her childhood, it was definitely stolen from her, and still is, just in the little things that are challenging for her, or might make her feel different, or it's just what's become kind of a normalcy when you step back and think about it. Is a lot of things that have been taken from her by cancer. About 6 years into Lila's journey, our doctor asked us if we would like to test her remaining tissue for the BRAF mutation. And luckily they tracked down a small sample of her tissue that was still left, and were able to test, and it indicated that she did have the mutation, which then qualified her for these later treatments that she's been on. And so that's been a huge blessing. I'm very grateful that we had a small piece of tissue left. Also begs the question, what happens next when there's another mutation that's been discovered, indicated in pediatric low-grade glioma, and we don't have any tissue left? And that might be a conversation for a different day, but I think that's a real struggle as the discoveries are being made. With a daughter that was diagnosed 13 years ago, and we're out of tissue. So, that's where I see the real value in organizations like the Children's Brain Tumor Network, who are biobanking tissues and specimens, and just keeping all of the specimens, the clinical data, everything. That's how we're gonna inform research and doctors and precision medicine moving forward. So a few years into Lila's diagnosis, I became more and more aware of the statistics and the gross inequities in funding for pediatric brain cancer research, knowing that it is the most fatal of the childhood cancers, and that 11 to 13 children are getting diagnosed a day, and that there are types of brain cancer for which there is no viable treatment, led me to really dig deep, and along with my husband started a foundation for pediatric brain cancer research in Lila's honor. The Lila Bean Foundation for Pediatric Brain Cancer Research was started in 2011, and our sole focus has been funding research. So I've had a unique view into this world, I think kind of an unusual lens to see it through as a parent and caregiver. I've been lucky enough over the past 11 years of my work as founder and executive director of the Lila Bean Foundation to see the progress really in collaboration among the players in pediatric brain cancer, again, through other foundations, doctors, researchers, academia, pharmaceutical, commercial, and I feel like we're at a point where we're really about to embark upon some exciting discoveries which are going to help our kids in real time. I can say personally with my daughter, there are first-line treatments available to her today that were certainly not available 13 years ago, and even 6 years ago when we were on a trial, and versus 2 years ago when we needed to go back on treatment. Different options, different discoveries. So I'm in this unique place of seeing it real time for my daughter and in the work I do, and I'm hopeful, and I am very grateful. Maybe no big surprise, but my hero is my daughter Lila. She is an inspiration every single day. She does not sweat the small stuff. She is always positive. She is always helpful. She is kind. She is generous. She is loving. Even on her worst days, even when I'm sure that inside she's just so mad and so fed up with things that are hard, or having cancer or another scan, she doesn't let it show. And that is a hero. She is my hero. She has tremendous courage. She has a tremendous grace about her, and she's a huge blessing to anyone that knows her, and certainly to our family. So thank you.
You're welcome. Love you.
Love you too.
I want to help kids learn because of all the struggles that I've gone through. I want them to know that they're in this and people have gone through the same thing that they have. Whoever is my age and who is going through this, you got this. Stay strong. You'll win this fight.